All right, what is going on, everybody? As promised, I did get a new motorcycle. This is my new 2019 Harley-Davidson Sportsglide. This was used, it had 8,500 miles on it. It did have a couple upgrades. You can see here it has the clockwork shade. It also has the highway bars here. And I think they actually removed the little mini floorboards that came stock on this thing. And I'll tell you why I decided to get this motorcycle as I kind of go around this little parking lot and just give her a test ride, kind of get used to how the bike feels, and talk to you guys about this baby. All right, so I just picked this baby up from Black Hills Harley-Davidson. Unfortunately, it started snowing and raining the day after I got it, so it sat in the garage for a little over a week, but here we are, and I am absolutely in love with this bike. I'll tell you, I went there and I had a couple of bikes in mind. I really liked the 1200 iron, and I was almost dead set that I was going to get it. And I was like, well, you know what, I'll try a couple different bikes, because everybody wanted me to upgrade, everybody wanted me to get a bigger bike. They said I'd be happier with it, and I just wasn't sure that I would believe them. However, after riding this thing, it was a wrap. I did test ride this, and then I rode the Dyna Switchback, and the Switchback was fun. I enjoyed it, but this thing right here rides so smooth, and the inverted front forks, the handling on this is just absolutely phenomenal. So I was basically in love after I rode it. Let's get it started. You can see I've 214 miles till empty. This is the stock exhaust, I do believe, and stock engine. It does come with the 107. This engine is incredibly smooth, the Milwaukee 8 107, and since it's a new bike, I'm just going to try to get used to it, try to figure out how the handling is, go around some of these corners and little hill things. And I suggest if you are buying a new motorcycle to do this with any new motorcycle, or if you're even renting a new motorcycle, go to an open parking lot and just play with it for a little while before you get all crazy out there on the road. You know, they're going to teach you in the motorcycle safety course to like just play with your clutch, wait until it kind of grabs that action and takes you. Oh dude, this thing handles like a dream. You can really kind of like throw it one way or the other. And being only 5'6", it's kind of what I need. You know, I need something that handles nice, that I can turn around tight, that I can maneuver around parking lots like this. Oh yeah. And that Milwaukee 8 has just enough torque that really doesn't need to chug around. Super powerful. The brakes on it are freaking phenomenal. It almost, you know, after riding my Sportster, I guess I probably should have changed the brakes on that baby, and I just never have. See, like practicing on really tough corners like this, like an uphill 180-degree switchback almost, you know, before you get out there in the curvies, practice in a parking lot doing something like that. I really like how I can like flick the front wheel in the direction that I want to turn and then go. It's super responsive. For whatever reason, I thought about just jumping over that little island like it was a dirt bike. I am not on a dirt bike. Why would I have done that? Why would I even think that? Golly. As you can see though, oh man, dude. This thing is freaking great. So let me talk to you about some of the things that I noticed right away. Right away test riding this bike, I noticed that on the day that I test rode it, it was extremely windy. Try a quick stop. And my Sportster in the wind, if you've ever rode a Sportster 883 in the wind, it is not the funnest thing in the world. Matter of fact, right after I got my motorcycle, it was like 2 months later, I went to my first Sturgis with it. You know, growing up there, it was pretty easy for me to get there. So taking it out, I was out past Bear Butte. We went, you know, out past the Buffalo Chip, and while we were riding, it was so windy and it gusted me so hard that honestly I closed my eyes and I gripped the handlebars and I thought I was going down. But by the grace of God, I did not go down. I was able to handle that and somehow keep riding. I opened my eyes, I was still straight up, and the fear in me was real after that. I was terrified, honestly, and there was a line, like a serious 2 mile long line of cars that were behind me, and it was embarrassing. Everybody was really mad when they went past me, giving me the finger and stuff. But after that, I just wasn't comfortable. And if you've been there on a motorcycle, when you're not comfortable, the ride is no longer fun. So, you know, especially on a new ride, come to an open lot like this and play with your motorcycle in a safe environment where you're not worried about crashing into other motorcyclists, where you're not worried about crashing into a car. If you do put down your motorcycle, you're not worried about getting hit by a car, just, you know, out of random stuff. You saw there was like little sand piles there. So you get real world action in a parking lot. This is a place that, you know, doesn't have business on Sunday. So, golly, this motorcycle just handles great. So yeah, like I was saying, the first day I had it, or the first day I test rode it, it was so windy, and I noticed when I came around the corner into the full force wind, I was just planted. My butt felt like it was attached to the road. And on my Sportster, that was not the case. Any little gust, you know, could blow you around, and if it got South Dakota windy on you, it was really blowing you around. So that was less than enjoyable. So I wanted that. I mean, as soon as I felt it, I was like, oh my God, yeah. And with the Sportster, you know, I was talking about having the swing arm bag. The swing arm bag is sweet, but you know, that just gives you a little taste of like what bags would be like. So obviously you want real bags. And when I was shopping around, man, I test rode a lot of bikes, or I'm sorry, I didn't test ride a lot of bikes, but I sat on a lot of bikes. I had a really good salesman. He let me sit on a bunch of different models. He held them up so I could put my feet up and everything. We tested mid controls and forward controls, and we tested cruisers, we tested baggers. Like, I mean, it was pretty cool. But I even watched a lot of Shade Tree Surgeon videos, and I could barely get my leg over a Goldwing. I'll tell you that. I think they're cool, but I had to lift my right leg over the seat, and it scraped along the way when I did it. So I just don't think I could ever get a Goldwing. However, I think they're cool. And when it comes to buying a newer bike or an older bike, I had an older Sportster, and I did have to replace some things when I got it. A lot of the fuel lines were rotted out, and also, you know, a couple little things. We painted the gas tank, and then I found I had to get new pepcock, and a couple, you know, paint got in the gas can. I had to do a couple little things, no big deal. But when it came to replacing the fork seals that time, and I was having the problem with the dealership, I was kind of asking, well, what they would give it, you know, on a trade-in, and they weren't willing to give me anything on a trade-in. And then, you know, I was asking them about doing service on it, and they really didn't even want to do service on the bike, saying it was so old. And I was really just kind of turned off by that. I was all upset, but I decided to get a newer bike kind of because of that. You know, it's also a machine that you can easily die on. If you're running an old machine, something that's worn out, I think there's a greater chance of something failing that could be catastrophic for you and the bike. And that's not something that I really wanted to play with. I had already had a motorcycle for several years, 8 years. So I knew that I wanted one, that I was gonna be a motorcycle rider, right? It wasn't something that just I was gonna grow out of. Like, once you have it and you know, and I knew. I was like, oh baby, like, this is my stuff. And my people, I just, you know, on the ride in, I got a bunch of waves, and everybody knows that motorcycle wave, you know, and just getting a new motorcycle and getting those waves for the first time, I was like, I'm in the club again. Like, that's what I'm talking about. So let's see, I love the rims on this bike, and I've watched a lot of moto YouTubers that just say a lot of negative things about the Mantis rims. They don't like them, they don't like how they look. I dig them. I think they look cool as hell. You know, on my last video I said I don't really like spoke rims. I think that they, you know, they require a lot of maintenance, and I don't really care for the way they look. It's like, I want it to be different than a bicycle, and it's like, that's why I don't really care for the look. I don't dig them myself, and it's cool if you guys like them, but due to the maintenance and due to the fact that I kind of want them to be looking different than a bicycle, that's why I didn't really like the spoke rims. Also, the suspension on this bike, on the Softail, is out of the world compared to the Sportster. I've heard of people trying to upgrade the Softail suspension, and I so far see no need for that. Being 170 something pounds, like, I don't think that would ever be necessary for me. Now, this is a tricky one right here. There's a spot in Deadwood that's really hard. You got to be good with your bike. That was fun. All right, and also, you know, the fairing. As you can see, this fairing here, it goes right below my eye level, probably hits at about the bottom of my chin. And with the additionally raised up window by Clockworks, man, this thing does a great job at deflecting the wind up and around me and around my shoulders. I don't have nearly the amount of wind that I had on my Sportster, and I love that. It's so much more comfortable riding. One thing this also has is cruise control, and that is freaking sweet. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I was kind of intimidated. I don't know why. And the first time I used it, man, your speed is just way more consistent. You're not getting your, like, you know, forearm burn by trying to hold your throttle in the same position. And it was just, I loved it. I mean, after having it, I'm absolutely never going to go back to a bike that does not have cruise control. And ABS on this bike, anti-lock brake system, that's really something, a safety feature that, you know, we're living in 2022. If you have the money and the capability to get a bike with ABS, just get it, because, you know, if you're a great rider, you don't need it. You're not going to be stomping your brakes, but, you know, it's more of like for those situations that you're not prepared for an accident. You don't plan for an accident, so you never know when that ABS system's really going to come into play and be good, you know, going to save your life. So I really enjoyed that as well. Bigger gas tank. I didn't really care about the bigger gas tank. It's going to obviously go farther with it. The number one thing that I liked about this Sportsglide was the handling and the comfortability. It is extremely comfortable for me. Being 5'6" with the forward controls and just how the bike is not extremely large, I am very comfortable on this motorcycle, and I really enjoyed it. It's also the way that it rides, the smoothness and the stability that it feels like. It is really planted. When the wind is blowing hard, it really didn't take much for me just to navigate just by pushing a little bit on the handlebars one way or the other. And as you can even see right there, it doesn't take much to turn this thing left, right. It's really freaking nice. So after all those things, you know, I ended up riding the Dyna Switchback afterwards. The Dyna Switchback was really more in my price range, and I was debating it again. You know, I told you I was debating the Sportster 1200, and after riding this thing, I just thought, dude, this is gonna be my next 20-year bike. Like, so why not, you know, spend a little extra maybe than what you even thought you were going to spend on it, and go for it. And I did. So right now I'm super freaking happy with it. I hope that stays that way. So, oh, also one last feature I think that I just absolutely love about this bike is the USB charging port. The USB charging port is a sweet feature. You know, in case I want to talk to you guys, have a GPS going, charge my phone while I'm riding. You have a GPS charging port right here on the side. Right here. This is my new Harley-Davidson Sportsglide. Let me know if you guys have ever rode this motorcycle before, if you guys like it, if you enjoy it, why you enjoy it. Man, the in front and front forks on that, I just dig the whole way it looks. I love the 2-in-1 exhaust. I love this motorcycle. I've been sitting there going into the garage and look at it. I woke up at midnight one night, I came out, I sat on it and stuff. It's got a security system. When you sit on it and your key fob's not on there, it'll blink at you. If you move it, it whistles. Whoop whoop. Dude, I love it. The adjustable preloaded suspension, you can change it whenever you want, no tools required. All of these bags, the front fairing, they're quick detach, and that was kind of like the predecessor to the switchback. And this is like again about 25% smaller than the Road King, and that was kind of the whole thing. They wanted to appeal to shorter riders like me. So guys, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'm going to be making these videos at least one time a week, and it is springtime here in the Black Hills. It is absolutely beautiful. So I cannot wait to get this baby out on the road. Alright, let's blow this parking lot, man. Show you what kind of power this thing has. She's rip-roaring and ready to go, boys. Dude, that hit 60 so fast, I'll tell you. The one thing that the salesman told me was, hey, I know you were riding a Sportster before this, so what I want you to do is really watch out, because this thing is going to be a whole lot smoother than your Sportster. There you go, I'm in the club, baby. Alright. And he's right, it is a whole lot smoother than the Sportster. And what he was saying is you just won't realize how fast you're going into a corner. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. Beautiful spring day out here. I think it's like 55 degrees right now. As you're riding, it's just a little bit chilly. But I've got my I've got my gear on too that I bought. I did the review on. I've got the Street and Steel shoes and the knee padded Kevlar lined pants with the Biltwell jacket. I'm sorry, gloves, as you can see, not jacket. And I got the GoPro. I had a Hero 8 Black, and shout out to Lolly, she hooked us up with the link to Amazon microphone that was only like $25. That's what I'm using for my accessory microphone. Let's go ahead and take a ride through downtown Rapid City. Quick fact about Rapid City, it is one of the fastest growing cities in the nation right now. Lots of people are getting out of California, Colorado, everywhere, and they're coming here. Whether or not they'll be staying for long term, we will see. I am just actually moving back from Colorado, and I am happy to be home, because if you were watching those last videos, my dad does have cancer, which is a sad deal, but now I'm home and now I get to spend some time with him, which is a good deal. So, what do they say? Always watch your rear view. Make sure nobody's going to run into you. Have an escape plan. I don't really have an escape plan here. Yeah, I don't think he's going to hit me though. He sees me. Right on. These are the kind of things that I am just bringing back to my memory as a new rider. You gotta watch these kind of things. A Mercedes RCPD paramedic. Sweet ass freaking ambulance ride right there. Don't hit this car. Alright. You see? Good thing we practiced in that parking lot. Valley Sports Bar, nice little freaking sports bar, as you can see. It has lots of pool tables and dart machines and drinking things. Go there to drink beer. Oh man, I just hit some like oh, it must have been Valley Sports Bar. They were cooking some fries. That's the coolest thing about being on a motorcycle, or one of the cool things I should say about being on a motorcycle, is going by places and smelling things. Shay Lacey was like talking about smelling bread on an overpass. I don't know if you guys watch her, but I found that really funny because it's definitely something I notice as well. I want you all to prepare to meet Jesus. These guys are awesome. I love dogs, man. I really love the fact that this has a gear indicator on here and a gas gauge. I almost saw a moped wipe out this morning too. We were driving around and this person looks like they just didn't know how to ride. Maybe they were trying to take a left-hand turn and their front wheel locked up on them and they almost went down. I honestly don't know how they saved it. They ended up going up onto a curb with a moped. Like it was crazy. All right, so we're gonna be heading right into downtown Rapid City right now. Rapid City is also on one of the top 100 most dangerous cities in the United States right now per capita. Lots of drugs and crime going on through here. So watch yourself, arm yourself to the teeth, as they say. This is right here, the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. Really cool place. You know, as grade kids, they bring everybody here to the free museum of geology. You can go see like minerals that glow in the dark and UV light, I should say, and dinosaur bones. And it's also where people learn how to mine the earth and destroy it. Just kidding, I know we need precious minerals. Seeing the strip mine though, and it's the open cut mine in Lee Deadwood, is incredibly impressive. I'll definitely have that on a later video, so stay tuned. This is still this whole campus, a very nice campus. It's a little rich for my being. There's a observatory on top over there. You can go and they have star parties. Last time I was living here in Rapid City, something I was looking into. It's something I'll definitely try to get into. Rapid City's definitely been growing a lot lately. Being gone for almost 8 years and coming back, there's quite a bit of change. So hopefully it's a nice little ride through the downtown area. We'll see what we can figure out. And if you're considering coming to the Black Hills, the Rapid City area, there's quite a bit to do. Over here, I'm not sure if you can see that white SDN M on the School of Mines and Technology on the hill has made their letters, and on that hill, M Hill as they call it, it's one of the largest mountain bike parks in the Midwest. I can't remember how many miles worth of trail is on that baby, but quite a few. Enough to keep you busy, that's for sure. Hey, look, I got a pack of riders behind me. Looks like maybe some Grom boys or some ruckus dudes. Wonder what those hooligans are up to. Maybe I should get over. join the pack with them. This is downtown Rapid City now. This is called the City of Presidents. Hotel Alex Johnson in the view, a historic hotel there. I had an awesome story there. It was a 25th anniversary for that place, and they had free alcohol from 5 to 10. And yeah, some ruckus boys, or at least one ruckus. And by 10 o'clock, I was in rough shape. I'll tell you, I was 21 for that ride, and luckily so. VFW, if you're a veteran, you come down here, kick it with the boys. My dad plays music down here fairly often, every Friday night, I think. And as you can see on every corner here, we have little bronze statues of presidents. Oh, Ruckus almost got himself into a situation. And oh, we're vaping, bro. What the smoking the chi, bro, down here in your expedition. I caught it. Yeah, City of Presidents though, so on almost every corner they've got a statue of a president. As you can see here, right? I'm not really sure where to ride. I don't have an agenda. I'm just cruising. You know, that's another thing, a reason that I wanted to get a motorcycle again. I am a very focused person, so when I have things to do, there's absolutely no dilly-dallying. I cannot stop places and just do whatever I want. I've got to keep focused on the mission at hand, and I got to keep going. With my motorcycle, I find that, wow, you know, I see something, I came out to ride and check things out anyways, like why not stop and check it out? I've got the time. This is why I'm out on my bike. And that's a very rare thing for me. Really what I want to do is go check that dinosaur out. Like, let's see. I think I can still get to him right over here. I used to lift at this weight room. Very good weight room. I liked it quite a bit. It has a very old style iron weight feel, to like an Arnold style gym. I like that. I'm a fan. Oh dude, this bike's so sweet. The more I get used to it, the more I understand it, the more I know how it's gonna do me. Where I can tip the balance point at, where I can lean into my corners, where I can start leaning out of my corner. Okay, watch out, bud. I used to ride up here quite a bit when I lived in the town. It's a fun little corkscrewy road right here in town. Definitely having to get to know my gear ratio. I'm in first gear right now. It seemed like I was just chugging a little bit in second. Rightfully so. It's just a lower end torque bike. That Sportster rides completely different than this baby. I'm just gonna have to learn. We gotta go outside, inside, outside is how they say it in motorcycle class. When our corner's clear, we look up into where we want to be. We push to lean and we go. Do not lose your momentum. And we are through. That was fun. You see, it all comes back to you. It is just like riding a bicycle, just a lot more dangerous. And that's all right, because we like the danger. This is not a place for a whiskey throttle, however. You gotta be on your P's and Q's. I want to keep it going. Look where I'm going. Turn my head. That's right. Oh, baby. I'm ready to go ride in the hills after this little ride. Oh, look at that cute dog. Hi, bud. Oh, we're going to have to stop for the old tourist. This is what's called Dinosaur Park. If you've never been here, it's a fun little family attraction, especially for the little people. The thing is as you get maybe into the teenage range, it kind of gets a little lame for them, just because it is, you know, plaster cast dinosaurs that were made in like the 70s or something, and they keep retouching them. It's a cool free park though, and it's got great views of the city, so absolutely come check it out if you're coming to Rapid City. I mean, as you can see all of the city here, and there's even a little bit of a better spot right around the corner here. Definitely feel the heat coming off from the engine, which it's nice on this cool day. See how it's a liquid cooled engine, a lot different than the air cooled engine that I had. Oh, little rock stack, hey bud. That, oh, trail, there it is. I was just about to say that must mark a trail. We ought to get off here and just see what is what. Wow, I feel like Shay Lacey right now. Can't find neutral on my bike. Anyways, I'll just turn this baby off, whatever. Still getting used to how this thing leans on the kickstand, that's for sure. Here we are, the beautiful Black Hills. You see there's bike trails all down this thing now. How cool is that? This is what's known as the west side of Rapid City. One of the nicer areas of town. You can see it has sports complexes and stuff. Huge cement plant back in the day. I got to tour that when I was a kid. Oh, cute lady on the ledge. Alright, let's keep on rolling. Oh, damn. Look at that bike. Oh, yeah, a little trailhead. Look at that. This is all new. To me, anyways. I have no idea how old it is. Golly, riding motorcycles is the freaking sweetest. Like this feeling right here. I'm about to lean into it. Definitely like getting to know your machine is freaking sweet, dude. This is only really my first day of riding. I did ride it home from the dealer, but oh, you see a 180-degree switchback? That was a test of fate right there, baby. And it didn't chug down at all. I had my clutch completely out. I had roll off my gas almost completely as well. The Milwaukee 8, man, this engine is so nice. It doesn't, I have to do a lot less throttling and clutch working that I did with my Sportster on this. I could tell you, and I hadn't rode this road in a long time, but I could tell you right away, it's much nicer on this bike. Look at that. The wind's back. It's always windy here. Always. The number one complaint that I have about living in South Dakota is the wind. It's pretty much the only complaint I have about living here, but if there's anything I have to complain about, it is the wind. Stonewall Overlook. Badass. I don't think I've ever been there. And this is where rich people live, who don't spend their money on Sportglide. Who wants to live in a house? I'll sleep on a tent in my freaking Sportglide. I don't need to live in anything. I will ride this thing to work and I will sleep in a tent. That is happiness. What is all this? Man, this is... It seems like there's a lot of new stuff around here. Well, oh, those guys were burning weed, bro. Smoking and driving. That was what's up. That was a nice little refresher. Go pep me up a little bit. Whoa, what do we got here, huh? And that's why we don't like to cross lines, Charlie. Luckily, those guys on the weed, they weren't doing anything dangerous. They're just having, you know, they're just nice people out here for a nice little drive, a little drivey poo, a little burn. Nothing criminal here. Let's see. Dude, this is sweet. Feels like just riding along this little ridge spine. Wow, dude. Just majestic. Alright guys, so I am going to cut this video off at this point. I hope that you enjoyed my ride through downtown Rapid City and up what is called Skyline Drive and through Dinosaur Park. If you guys did, hit that like button, subscribe. I will see you next week, and be sure to stay tuned for motovlogging and motovlogging in the Black Hills especially. It was a pleasure riding with you guys today. Stay safe, my friends.